Speaking of, let me. Too many things pop out.
What do you mean by that?
Like Halloween Halloween things. Like decorations. That's the word, not directions.
Okay. Yeah.
You walk past, they're motion censored. And then they jump out or they make a noise.
Okay, so you were at a Spirit Halloween today, so you got scared at the Spirit Halloween is what happened?
Yeah. So many scary things.
I agree.
Thank you. And it's just I don't need that, you know? I'm already seeing the scary thing. I'm already paranoid.
Yeah.
I'm already on edge. I don't need something that's gonna make me scream bloody murder in the middle of a Spirit Halloween. But you know,
it's embarrassing.
It is, but in October, it's just a typical Friday for me, I guess. I don't know. Same with CVS. Like, CVS has some things, too. You're just trying to get your snacks for the weekend, or, I don't know, hand soap, sue me, and something jumps out at you. Just...
Yeah, no, it's not great.
No, it's not. Halloween. That's why I'm scared of everything.
Stay at home, eat candy, don't go outside.
Yes! That's our motto here at HBO Max during Spooky Month.
Yep.
Stay inside, eat candy. That's it.
That's it?
It's the rules of the life. Welcome to the episode. I just did the intro. Hello! Welcome to HBO Max. It's Spooky Month. I'm your host, Makenna. Joining me as always is Brandon. Hello, Brandon. How are you today?
Good. That was a very understated hello.
Hello!
I'm not gonna have to lower the volume on that one when I'm editing.
See, I don't have my mic stand, so it's just
yeah.
Ooh, it's cold. It's metal. So it's on my desk. So I don't know how volume levels are.
The volume seems fine, at least to me. It is. It's not as crisp as we normally get from you, though.
I'm so sorry.
That's unnecessary.
No, I'll be back in Philly next time. Yeah. Oh, my pop filter. So it's second movie of the spooky month. We watched Blair Witch Project. Very spooky.
I thought this one would get you.
Oh, sir, it did. It's still getting me. I'll like go a bit without thinking about it, and then I'll think about it, and like since I've been home, I've been seeing more woods. Not a fan of woods. Things happen in woods. I don't need to know, but now I do know with this movie. Let's get into the facts and figures, and we'll see how well I wrote them. This movie came out July 14th, 1999, had a budget of $200,000 to $500,000, made $248.6 million in the box office. Wild. It is one of the most successful independent films, and according to Wikipedia, is the 41st most profitable horror film.
At the time, it was when it came out, it was number one at both. Like it was the most profitable like independent film ever made at the time. Film landscape has changed quite a bit, but also it's a bit cheating because they shot it on like a handheld recorder in 16 millimeter. They spent very little money on this, so profitability, we're grading on a curve.
Just a bit. It holds the Guinness Book of World Record, or at least it did, for the top budget box office ratio. So for every $1 in the budget, it made over almost $11,000 in the box office, which is a crazy ratio. There is a media franchise with it. So there's 2 sequels, one that came out in 2000, one that came out in 2016, and there's a third one in development as of April 2022. Novels, comic books, video games, the whole shebang. People like the Blair Witch. Principal photography took place 8 days, October 1997, which, for all you May fun facts out there, lovers, that is when, right around my parents got married, so who knows. Oh, wow. If it ended on October, on Halloween, it happened when my parents got married. October 1997.
They were filming the Blair Witch Project while your parents were getting married.
Exactly.
Not that far apart, because this was filmed in, like, yeah,
right there. Down one state. Maryland's not that big. I mean, it's weird. Maryland's weird. It's a weird shape.
It's a weird state.
Yeah, it's like, it's got like bits and bobs. Makes no sense. It's thin, and then it's like, bleh.
Yeah.
And then Delaware's there for some reason.
God, once this podcast done, I'm gonna go read about why Maryland's shaped all weird now.
I'm looking at it on my map, and then like West Virginia's weirdly in there as well, like with this little hook. And then like Virginia's getting in. And then DC is somewhere in there. Why isn't DC a state? Like, why is that not in a thing?
It was originally supposed to be that like it wasn't intended to be like an actual city with like a bunch of people living in it. It was supposed to be like a place where politicians from all over the United States would come and meet in this one city to do business and stuff. And it wasn't supposed to have like its own culture and things going on in it, you know?
It does.
That's changed quite a bit in those since then.
But yeah, like I remember like friend in the show, Chaz, like he was looking at the states and he's like, where's Washington DC? It's like, well, it's like in between some states. It's like sort of in Virginia, sort of in Maryland.
It's in the District of Columbia.
District of Columbia, yeah. It's not a state, but it's a District of Columbia.
They also didn't want like a state to be able to wield power over the capital city.
That makes sense.
American politics are weird.
Checks and balances.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, it's weird.
States used to matter a lot more back in the day. Like what state you were from used to be like a big deal.
With the states, do you think we're gonna get like a 52nd state soon?
Yeah, I bet we get 52. I bet they do make DC its own state, and I bet Puerto Rico becomes a state. It's hard to say when. Hopefully in like the next 10 years.
Yeah. How do you think the flag's gonna be?
Not a clue. Not a graphic designer.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had one since what, like 68 was when, or was it 60?
We bought Alaska, right?
Yeah. Okay, it was in the 60s.
It was when Nixon was president,
Kennedy,
right?
So yeah, 68. Yeah, 68.
So it would have been
something like that. Late 60s. Yeah. It's been a bit.
Early 70s, somewhere
over
around
50
there.
years, yeah. That little era. Who knows? I wasn't alive then. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Watergate. What was going on? Stock, I think. 69 was moon landing.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all I got. Some Rush albums probably came out.
Excellent.
Oh,
excellent content.
This is great. Listen, I am on. Let me tell you all that I ate today. So I
We're just not even gonna be doing the podcast anymore. We're just gonna.
I still got some facts and figures to go over.
We're doing different. Tell me what you ate today.
So I started off my day, went to lunch with my grandma. I had some spaghetti. All right.
Okay.
And then we went to the farmer's market, and they had to get some snacks for later for Dateline. But they have ice cream there, like that you can get there, like soft serve and the hard serve. I don't remember what that one's called. Hand dipped, if you will. So I had triple chocolate earthquake, Trip Choc Earth. That was delicious. It had bits of brownie in it. Had a little bit of a sugar rush. came home, calmed down, went to Target and Spirit Halloween, freaked out there, got Arby's for dinner at like 8 o'clock, had some lemonade. Then I had another personal apple pie. Didn't drop this one. I kept it in the plastic and delicious. And now my stomach hurts. Because I ate a lot of food today.
Are you sure you've come down from the sugar rush?
No, absolutely not. No, I'm still in the sugar rush from the ice cream at like 4 p.m.
Yeah.
This is...
I can feel it.
The apple pie hasn't even hit yet. It was bouncing off the walls. I should have some Tums later. So Heather Donahue's mother. What did you have today, Brandon, for food?
Oh, I ate so bad today. So this morning I had a pumpkin spice latte on my way to work. Then I clocked into work, loaded my van, all that kind of thing. I left. Before I made it onto the route, I stopped at the gas station near work, and I got a Gatorade and a piece of pizza from the gas station. Yeah. Gas station has pretty decent pizza, I'm not even going to lie. Then, actually, like, super long day today, so I stopped and got... I don't normally eat lunch, but I stopped and got McDonald's today at work because I don't eat a lunch. So I don't pack a lunch, but long day, needed to eat. And then I haven't, God, that must have been around 2 o'clock. Haven't eaten since then.
But,
yeah.
Bro.
I'll probably eat after we finish this show. I don't know.
That's good. If,
Yeah.
If
we finish this show. What are you trying to imply?
We're going for the longest podcast. I don't know how long that is. I want to be in the Guinness Book of World Records.
I can tell you, I've listened to podcasts that are like 5 hours long, so...
Oh, no. Listen, it's midnight here, just about. I'm going to fall asleep before 5 hours. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So we're not making that.
No. One day, not today. So Heather Donahue's mother received sympathy cards from fans after this movie came out in '99 because it was so convincing in terms of just the found footage. And people thought that it didn't help that on IMDb, like the actors before the movie came out, it said that they were missing, presumed dead as well. So I'm sure that didn't help the cause.
Makenna, the cause, it was specifically designed and marketed in a way to where you were supposed to think that it was real.
Oh my god.
Did you not know this?
No. I was alive in '99.
I know, but like I assume that you might have maybe picked up on like the Wikipedia page or like looking for this. The way this movie was marketed was that this was a real footage that was found.
No.
Yeah. Like it would like so leading up to like the first releases of this at the festival, they would like pass around like missing persons posters with like an actual number that you could call to leave tips with and stuff. Like, they hyped this entire thing up. That's why all the actors use their real names and stuff. They intended this to be, like, it opens with a thing, like, we found this footage in the woods of this thing, these kids who went missing. This is the footage they shot. We don't know what happened to them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, what? So, like, what happened when people found out that, like, it was, like, these people were alive and, like, not missing?
I can tell you this. So, like, eventually, like, they appeared on, like, Conan O'Brien and stuff, like, the actors and stuff. Like, like, months later or whatever, it came out that it's not real. But it was still... very much. I think McKenna's gone. I might have to edit this out. Let me write down the time. Where's my pen? Where'd the pen go? 30. Okay, we're gonna wait.
I'm back, baby.
She's back. Okay.
You know, the internet just decided to stop. It's fine.
Your image quality is a lot better, so we should be good from here on out, I think.
Oh, I hope. That's good. I don't have like the little thing. It's like your internet quality is or your internet's unstable. So I don't know. Maybe it just needed a. I don't know. It did. It's a minute to midnight, so maybe it's just like needed a little.
Yeah.
October.
That's how the internet works. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, it's the box. It needed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course.
Top of Big Ben. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're saying about the yeah.
So eventually, like, the actors like appeared on like Conan O'Brien, and like it was like fully revealed. It's not. Hoax is a strong word. Like, it sort of was a hoax. It sort of wasn't. But like, it was like fully laid out. This was like, you know, it's a movie. Like, it is actually a movie. That being said, like, news traveled really slow in like the early 2000s and stuff, to the point where like when I first heard about this movie as a child, I heard that it was real. Like it persisted for a long time that this was a real thing. And that there was like debates about whether it was real or not and stuff. It was very strange. I think part of it was there were certain people who wanted to keep the kayfabe alive and like pretend it was real so that people in the future would. It's important to remember the internet was very different back in the day.
Right.
Because like part of how like all this spread was on the internet. Like they had the .com that was presenting it as like, hey, we're looking for these people. There was like stuff on the website about like restoring the footage and like putting it together, and like extra video diary stuff that they had found of the people. And another thing was that in preparation for this movie to come out, they released a pseudo documentary about the town itself and the legend of the Blair Witch to like prepare people for that. Yeah, it's a lot of found footage movies have like tried to repeat this. Like early on, Paranormal Activity really kind of tried to pretend that it was like a real thing that had happened. There was a lot of debate about like films like Cannibal Holocaust very early on, and some other found footage movies where they would Alien Abduction, which is like the first real found footage movie, was have you ever heard of Alien Abduction?
No.
Okay, Alien Abduction is a weird fucking movie because it never got released. It was a film that a guy shot on VHS at his house, or like it was for a couple $1,000s. He just put this film together about a family getting abducted by aliens. It was a found footage film, and he sold it to a studio. And while they were producing the tapes to get out, like it wasn't going to get a theatrical release. They were going to release it direct to video. Their production facility ended up like burning down and like losing the master footage of the film. But a couple tapes had already gotten out. Like a couple people had taken tapes, and somebody edited out the credits from the front and back of the movie and just made VHS copies and just started circulating them around.
Oh my god.
And that is like the first true blood found footage movie, the way you see it, like Cannibal Holocaust and stuff, which kind of gets credited as that has like a framing device around it and stuff, and like it's kind of pretending that it's real, but it's also very clear that you're watching a movie. This would like Alien Abduction was fucking weird because like nobody knew that this movie was like getting out to people on VHS tapes and stuff, and so like I don't know if Blair Witch was inspired by that at all. It's hard to tell, but the marketing behind this movie was absolutely genius because like everybody, like the buzz up to this movie was like, this movie is real. This is a real thing that happened.
No. Oh my god. Oh no, that's making me like antsy just thinking about that.
Like you watched this movie and it scared the crap out of you and you didn't think it was real. Could you imagine going into the theater and thinking that this was a real thing that actually happened?
Oh my god, no, I would have shit myself. Oh my god, that's... Oh, like... I said it wasn't real, just because it's, like, I knew... Yeah, it wasn't real. I mean, it's been years, and I've heard about it on the internet and whatnot. But I didn't realize that it was all shot on the camcorder, which, like, made me forget that it wasn't real. So, like, things had happened. I had to look away so many times.
Real.
It feels so real. I
and
hate
like
it.
part of that is the way that they shot it. It was real to the people in it. Like did you read about like the shooting process of this movie? I assume you have some of that in the facts and figures.
Yeah, so I had like a couple things from that. So the Heather, Michael, and Josh they communicated with the director through walkie-talkies so they wouldn't get lost. They still got lost 3 times, which I'm sure added to everything. And then they would give them less food to encourage like fighting during shooting and everything. So it just so that just made it feel even more real, knowing that like I think improvised as well with the
Lost her again. Oh no. We lost Mac again. We lost Mac again.
Oh, maybe I'm back. I might be once again. I don't know what's going on. My internet has never done this before. Well, if it has,
you've always had really good internet.
Yeah, my internet. I don't know. I don't think my parents have touched it since I've been gone. 8 weeks this year, like home. Oh my god, I think it just cut out. Oh no, never mind. I'm good.
A little bit.
A little bit. It's gonna be the death of me. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the internet. My dad didn't say anything about any new internet. The only thing that's happened,
like peaks and valleys that you're getting. It's weird.
Yeah, that's how it was when I tested it. Like, it would go up and down. I don't know what's up with it. Because it was... I don't know. Spooky. It's the Blair Witch. Come up from Maryland. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Oh, now I don't have the icon that says unstable internet. I don't know. I have...
Okay.
No idea what to think of. Oh no, are you okay?
As soon as I don't have unstable internet anymore, and you went and then it froze.
I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to think, cause I didn't try to watch anything. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea.
No, it's fucking HBO Max. Who cares?
HBO Max. Anything can happen. Apparently. Good thing I didn't have that meeting today.
Yeah.
Because who knows with the internet? I might not have a job. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I'll have to check the internet tomorrow. I gotta do IT. I gotta go be IT later. Not today. When I wake up.
We got back from Mexico, and apparently my grandma had gone 3 days without internet and didn't tell anybody.
Oh,
and so I got back and just like reset the modem, reset the router, and the internet worked fine again.
It was fine.
But she was just like, when we got back, she's like, oh, by the way, the internet's been down for a couple days. Like,
oh no.
Couple days?
My grandma's TV a few years ago, every so often it would dub over in Spanish. She would hit a button and the audio would be Spanish. And it would happen probably like once every other week. And luckily she only lives 2 minutes away, so we would go down, and then like by like the third or fourth time she had me write down like the like 3-4 years. And then earlier this year in like maybe June or something, it happened again, and I was like, oh, I'm a little rusty, but I figured it out. I don't know. I think she was pressing buttons.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's technology. Blair Witch. Oh yes, the shooting of Blair Witch. Terrifying. Those three people must have been scared shitless as the days went on.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. They said it's mostly just that it was like really uncomfortable. Like,
right.
I believe the only thing where they're like legit like scared is the scene where they run out of the tent.
Oh yeah. I read about that.
Yeah, the Heather going, "What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?" is like a genuine reaction to seeing like the one of the producers like dressed up in like long johns and like a weird mask or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that like that was supposed to be in the shot, but the cameraman never panned over. So like, which I think it makes it even scarier that you don't see.
I imagine that even if they got a shot of that, it probably would have ended up getting cut out anyway.
Yeah, like I think it's scarier what I made up in my mind of what the Blair Witch looks like than anything.
Yeah,
like even just like thinking about what that could look like is no. Okay, I'm gonna stop thinking about.
That's the other like part of this movie that's like crazy is the editing process was just absolutely nuts. Because they had so much footage that they had to go through, and like I think we mentioned like most of the movie is ad-libbed, and they would like leave notes for the cast to be like, "Hey, this is what we want you guys to kind of talk about," or to, like what the scene is supposed to be or whatever. But they did that a lot. Like it's not just the scenes that are in the movie. Like they developed like a lot of scenes and just tried to like, and basically they had to take all that footage that they found, which is like hundreds of like hours of footage, and then just like find a story inside of that, and they really nailed it.
Yeah, I read it was like 8 days to shoot it, but it took 8 months to edit it just because of the amount of footage that they had.
They said that like the first thing that they did was they ran through all of the footage and cut out anything that didn't feel real.
Wow. Oh my god. I'd be curious to see numbers on that. Yeah, that's... I wish...
to edit.
Oh, 100%. I'm just thinking...
I'm dreading editing this podcast because I'm going to have to make a couple cuts in it.
Oops. Yeah, like, editing in 99. I mean, I suppose there were linear programs, I'm sure, but it couldn't have been easy.
Well, it's also with half
tapes.
the movie shot on VHS.
Yeah, no, oh god, no. That's I'm just thinking, no, that's terrible. That's
Yeah, because it's like they because that's the thing is like when you're wondering like how did they get like hundreds of hours of footage they shot for 8 days is they shot the movie twice. There's one person filming on VHS and there's one person filming on 16 millimeter.
No, I couldn't. Nightmare. And plus, it's a scary movie. So it's
it's like remember that scene in The Aviator when he's editing Hell's Angels and there's just like thousands of feet of footage.
That was actually how they edited Blair Witch. That's what he was editing. Oh my, no, I'm good. I'll pass. And props the editor. I would shake their hand. I wonder how many different cuts there, like final cuts there were. Like how many different possible storylines they could have gone with.
I'm not totally sure. From what I understand of the things I've seen is that they kind of for the most part, like what they intended did kind of come through in the movie. But that like the guy kicking the map into the river, that was ad-libbed.
I would have strangled him.
Yeah, and that's actually a thing where he did that as an ad lib and thought that they had got that filmed and they didn't. So when he's telling them that it happened, like that's when the actors are finding out about it. And like but like
get out.
Yeah, and like they had also like the character of Heather was originally intended they were casting for a male actor. But Heather's agent or whatever, like they just like they interviewed so many people for the part, like they were just taking everybody, even though it was written for a man, and that they she like blew it out of the park in the audition, and so like it's a blend of like the story they intended and then also like the story that like emerged that was going through the shooting and stuff. It's wild.
They did it so well. Like it scared me more than I expected it to. I think, and I think it really was heightened by it being found footage, because it feels like you're there with them. And it's like, no,
I expected this to be the movie that we did that scared you the most. Because, like, the thing that this movie does really well, a lot of people, especially nowadays, and this really pisses me off, people like to pretend that this movie isn't scary.
Oh, no.
People like...
They're liars.
Like, people who are, like, into, like, oh, like, I'm really into horror. Like, I like really scary movies. Like, Blair Witch it's, like, rocks and sticks. Like, that stuff's not scary. What's scary about this movie is that, like, they really build the empathy for the characters and you really feel the awful situation. Like, they really make you feel like you're there with them in a horrible situation of just being lost. And, like, everybody has had a situation where just for, like, a little bit, like, a couple minutes you've been lost. Like, you took a wrong turn and now you don't know where you are. And that's scary.
Yep.
You're not like lost for 8 days in the woods and there's a fucking witch out there.
No.
Yeah. So I assumed this was going to be the movie that scared you the most, because this movie, the first time I watched it, like kind of scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it was. I remember. I think the first moment that I had to look away was when during the tent scene, because I didn't know if there was going to be something on the screen that would pop out at you or not, and I was just so scared. Like, I was scared with them. They were scared. I was scared, and then like it'd be intermittent. Like, whenever she finds Josh's finger and like other bits and bobs from him, that scared me, and I couldn't even tell. Like, I had to look up later what it was. But it's just like the knowledge that something is freaking her out freaked me out at the same time. Oh no! And then like you feel the emotions of the characters. Like I was so pissed off at that one kid for throwing the map away. Like I was oh my god, yeah. You feel so
Like one
scary.
of the most memorable scenes in the movie for like it's not scary, but it is like I don't know, it's really emotionally affecting is when the one guy has the camera on her and he's yelling at her.
Oh yeah.
About like you're lost in the woods, no one's coming to help you. Like that's really an affecting scene, even though it's not like traditionally scary. Like it like gives you a lot of dread.
Yeah, yeah. I felt myself like tear up during like the like Heather's farewell, cause it's like you're so close to her. It's like, oh shit, like you feel it so much. And then the end. Oh, I had my eyes closed for most.
Oh that's my door. 1 second.
Oh my god, that scared me. I'm scaring myself.
I'm surprised that picked up in the audio so well. That scared you.
I'm gonna be honest. I am so like this is me. Like anything could happen, and I will jump. Like I don't know if that was my end. I don't know if I would have heard it if it was any other time. But I'm like so like hopped up on like being scared and like just talking about it that like, anything could happen, and I will probably scream.
Oh no, did we lose Mac again?
No! Am I back?
Oh, you're back.
I'm back!
This is such a weird episode.
Oh, it really is. It's just like...
We're not even through facts and figures. Do you have more facts and figures?
Oh no, I finished the facts and figures. Wait.
Nope. Oh my god. I might not even edit any of this. I don't know. This is...
Oh, no, I'm back. Maybe. Right when I said that, the web page crashed. I don't even know if it had anything to... I don't know what's happening. Things are going on.
I think I might not edit this because now it's gotten to the point where it's happened so many times and we just keep talking about it.
Everyone's in for the ride with us. I'm going to tell you what it is. I got in my Arby's hat, I was going to call it Arby's Happy Meal, but I got a kid's meal. I got a toy, and I got this sweet Kids Bop bracelet, and I think that's what's causing it.
That's what's doing it, huh?
It says turn it up, and I think it's turning up the rate at which the Wi-Fi fails. That's what I think it is deep down. I'm taking off the bracelet. Hold on. Look at that. We'll see what happens.
It's turning up the latency.
Exactly. That's better than what I said. You know Wi-Fi better than I do. Yeah, it's not even a slap bracelet. It's just a plastic bracelet. Yeah, I think that's it.
Do you know what the Bell Witch is? Like,
no,
because you're from like New England or whatever you guys call it up there.
I'm up there. Yeah. No, I'm not. What? Go on.
So the Blair Witch is based off the Bell Witch legend from Maryland, and it's sort of like transposed, like they built their own mythology, but based around that like urban legend.
Oh, interesting. Oh, why?
Very similar, like the Jersey Devil and the Pine Barrens, you know.
Oh yes, I am aware of that. That Pine Barrens good Sopranos episode.
I always thought it would be really funny if that Pine Barrens episode of The Sopranos ends with them running into the Jersey Devil.
That would have been good. Good crossover. Yeah, there's a lot of weird urban myths up here. Too many woods up here which just causes scary things to happen. Not a fan.
Yeah.
A lot of woods.
You know, the Pine Barrens episode of The Sopranos is very similar to this movie. It was just like, the woods will fuck you up.
The woods will. Like, I don't know if I've ever been in the woods before. Hold on. Have I ever been in the woods? I don't know if I've ever been in the woods before. Woods are scary.
Really?
Trees scare me. So I don't... And there's, like, bugs and stuff. I'm not a fan of bugs. I don't mess with bugs. So I don't know if I've ever been in the woods.
I've spent a lot of time in the woods.
Oh. Like camping?
I live out in the middle of nowhere. It's fucking woods everywhere.
Right, yeah. No, I forgot, yeah. Got all the woods.
Yeah.
When I took piano, she lived in the woods, technically.
Oh.
But, like, she had a house. So it was just... So I was never, like, in... I was in the woods. I wasn't in the... I didn't, like, spend enough... I played piano in the woods. That's about it. But I don't think I've... We go deer spotting. But that's... Sometimes we go, like, on roads through the woods. You go deer spotting?
I don't know what that means.
You don't got deer spotting out there? Okay,
I mean, I've gone deer hunting. That's...
No. So what we do, deer spotting, you have a big light. And then there's a bunch of farm fields around here. And then you just shine the big light into the field and then you count the deer. And you just go around. Like, we're going to do that tomorrow night. Like, that is prime fall activity. It's one of my favorite things to do in the fall. It's just, it combines a bunch of my favorite car rides, looking out the window, counting things, deer. It's a great time. And, like, we've got it down to a system where I'm old enough now to be one of the spotlight people. So, like, my mom and I will sit in the back. My dad drives. Campbell apparently has really good eyes, so she can see the deer without the light. But, like, we'll pass the spotlight back and forth. It's just a big lamp. It's great. It's a good time. And you gotta be careful, though, because, like, you can't shine them into people's houses unless you're my uncle and you have a dusk to dawn light. And then we shine the light on the dusk to dawn light to see if it'll turn off or not. And then we drive away once we see the lights turn on in the house, and then we have to call my uncle so he doesn't call the police. But you gotta be careful because there might be cars behind. It's a whole ordeal. It is so much fun.
Why would your uncle call the police because his lights turned on?
I don't... Well...
That's not a crime.
Unless you're my uncle, yes it is.
Like, that's, like, it's not like people... Like, one, you're not going on his property. You're not... No. You're not, like, destroying his property. You're not, like, spray painting his house, throwing TP on it or anything like that. You're shining a light at his house. That's not a crime. That is not enforceable by the law.
Yeah. We have fun. Yeah, he's the oldest of the six. My dad's the youngest of the six, you know. Anything goes. He's a man.
You're the one who bought the stupid light, man. I don't know what to tell you.
How dare you?
Why is that something you would want? Why would you want all your lights to turn on when it turns?
Oh, dusted. You're talking about the dusted dawn light. Oh yeah, I've never understood dusted dawn lights. They're never bright.
That seems terrible.
Yeah, I only know like a few people who have them now. Yeah, they're and like they never. I don't get them.
Like it turns on all the lights in his house.
Outside lights.
Outside lights, okay.
Yeah. They're not bright, though. Like, it's not bright enough to, like... It's not brighter than, like, a regular light that you can control on the inside of your house. Wait. Not by the sun.
Wait, I'm confused now. It turns on the lights outside of his house?
Yeah. So, like, imagine,
when it's sunny outside.
Wait, what did I... Dawn to dusk. No, dusk to dawn. So like it's sort of like solar power. So like when the sun goes down, the lights turn on, and then at dusk, and then the sun comes up, it turns off. Then dusk to dawn.
So you're turning off his lights.
Yeah, because we're pretending to be the sun.
Okay, you said turn on the lights. I thought they were like turning the lights on inside the house. I thought you did.
Well, oh no, I think so. We used the light, and then we would see like the front lights of his house come on inside because he's looking out the window to see why the hell his lights are turning off outside.
That's even dumber.
Yeah. Listen, we gotta entertain ourselves somehow on a Saturday night. Deer spotting and turning off the lights at my uncle's house. Yeah, deer spotting's a great activity. We've seen cats before. We've seen some raccoons. We've seen questionable animals that we have no idea what they are. It's a great time. A lot of deer. We got our favorite fields. And then of course when the corn comes down, well, okay. Then deer season starts after Thanksgiving. So you can't really do that anymore because there's gonna be hunters. So it's like between now and like Thanksgiving. But hopefully most of the corn will be coming down soon. So you got more fields. It's great. We saw deer tonight and we weren't even deer spotting. It's on the side of the road. We were getting dinner. One. Most we ever had was 45 in a night.
I've seen more deer than that.
Oh, I'm jealous. It's so much fun.
I sent you that picture that one time. There were like 7 deer or something in that picture.
I was
deer
so
all over the
amazed
place
by
out
them.
here, man.
Yeah, I was counting them. There's so many deer. We love counting deer. Spotting deer, counting deer.
I gotta live out in the middle of nowhere.
Gotta live in the middle of nowhere. That's where all the deer are. That's a great time. Love deer. And the bucks, you gotta be careful with the bucks. Because they'll mess you up. They're like mini moose.
Maybe, I mean, are they like... Will they actually like, come
common
at people?
Those. We've never gotten close enough to find out.
Okay.
I don't really know. The does get scared in the fawn. Yeah. So I don't know though.
Deer are like very. I've heard of people getting attacked by bucks before, but it's very uncommon because most of the time they just see a person, they just fucking book it.
Yeah, I'm assuming most of the time they bolt, but their antlers scare me, so they scare all of us. So we just merely go along. Did I tell you? I wasn't home. My car hit the deer. And now there's a dent in the side of the car and the right turn signal doesn't work.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You hit a deer with a car, they're big.
They're big. Deer are big.
Yeah.
They're
like all muscle too. Like they'll fuck up a car.
Have you ever had a venison before?
Yeah.
I've never had it. Is it good?
That's a pretty big debate. I like venison. I think it's okay. A lot of people don't like it. It's very gamey. It's very I don't know. Have you ever eaten like a wild animal before?
No.
Have you ever had rabbit or birds or like anything like that?
Not that I'm aware. I've had chicken. That's a bird. But that's it. I've never really. Not that I'm aware.
Wild animals, they taste different.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're eating different stuff. Like especially like deer, they're like very muscly, very there's not a lot of fat on them. So it's a very different flavor to it. You sort of have to get used to it. But yeah. A lot of people don't like it.
Yeah. Huh. I've never I don't know. Maybe someday. You know what freaks me out is the
This is the worst episode of the show.
This is great, right? I'm not jumpy anymore, at least. The like deer mounts, like when people like kill the deer and then they have the deer mounted.
Yeah.
That scares me. Those freak me out because I've never no one. You don't get a warning before you go into the room. It's like, yo, there's gonna be a deer head on the wall, and then bam, it's right there. Like my uncle has one in his basement. Not Dustin Donley uncle, uncle on my mom's side.
Other uncle.
Other uncle. There's like 20 of them. He has one in the basement that's like a buck. It scares the crap out of me every time I go in his basement. My grandfather, when he was still alive, he had a turkey on his. That one's scarier than the deer. It's interesting because you don't see many turkeys mounted. It's scary though. And you had a fish.
I don't know anybody who has any trophy mounts. A lot of people in my family hunt, but like trophy mounts are they're very expensive to have done. We just got back from Mexico. My dad caught a swordfish. They went out fishing. And is a giant fish, like a huge fucking fish.
Oh yeah.
They, what did they tell him? It was gonna be like $1,500 to have it mounted.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like there's a restaurant down where we go on vacation in Delaware called Big Fish, and it's like their mascot is like a swordfish, and they have like. I don't know if it's real or not because of how big it is, but they have like a swordfish mounted on the wall that they say is like it has all the stats and everything. It has the year, whatnot, of like when it was caught, and it is huge. And I don't know if it's real or not. It's
That's
insane.
probably real.
Oh, bro, it's big. But yeah, swordfish. Like, how sharp is a swordfish sword?
It'll kill you.
Oh.
Like a couple times a year, somebody dies catching a swordfish because they don't do it right.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, they'll spear you.
Oh no. You know what also might kill you? A Blair Witch.
A Blair Witch? One of those Blair Witches?
Yeah, they'll get you. They get you when you least expect it. You mess around with their stuff. Watch out, dog.
Yeah, don't pick up any stones or sticks. Or,
that stuff, the stick stuff. No, I'm good. No. They're touching the rocks. Don't touch the rocks.
Yeah, they really fuck up by touching those things.
They do. Like, do you think there's any, if they would have had the map still, would they have been able to avoid all that stuff, or were they too far lost?
No, they're deeply lost before they lose the map.
That is true.
Like the day where they spend an entire day walking in one direction and like circle back to the same place. They do that with the map.
Nope.
Yeah, like no, the woods are magic.
Oh, magic woods! I didn't think about
that. Yeah. There's a shot in the movie Blair Witch, it came out in like 2016 sequel, where that movie mostly sucks, but there's a couple of cool scenes. Like there's one where they have a drone. And, like, when they're lost, they fly the drone up to try to see where they're going. And it's just fucking, like, forever. It's just woods. Like, they fly it out, and it's just fucking forever.
What are the sequels? Because I didn't look too much into what the two sequels.
Let's talk about Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows.
Yes.
Makenna, that movie, there is not a Book of Shadows in that movie.
No Book of Shadows.
There is no Book of Shadows in that movie.
Can't believe that.
They just thought there isn't even a thing that you could construe as a Book of Shadows.
Really? Why is it called Book of Shadows then?
They thought the name sounded cool. Like they thought that sounded like a thing that could sell a movie. The making of that movie was an absolute like fucking disaster because like the directors of this movie pitched what they thought the Blair Witch sequel should be. They wanted to shoot a movie set, essentially be the story of the Blair Witch, like set in the past with like, like colonial dialect, like speaking the way they did back then. The studio thought that sounded like a terrible movie. Flash forward decade later when The Witch comes out, which is that movie, and that movie did extremely well and is really good. So they passed on that, and they instead hired the director of the documentary about the what I want to say Lost Soul, but that's the documentary about the island of Dr. Moreau. What's the who did the sequel to this? Come on, where's the damn Wikipedia link? There we go. It is the guy who did Paradise Lost. Which is about the West Memphis 3. They hired him to do Blair Witch 2, which you would think, okay, they hired a guy who made a documentary. They're going to do like a pseudo documentary about the Blair Witch. That's not what they did. They make a narrative film, an actual not found footage in any way, about the world where the Blair Witch movie was a movie. Like our world.
Oh.
Where people are obsessed with the movie, and like this they go out into the woods to like it's about like how like after the movie, like people started going to the town they shot it in and stuff, and like people got really like the people who lived in the town were like getting pissed off and stuff. And so it's about people who go out to that town and they go out into the woods, and then one of the guys kills all the other people. And like it's not even, it's like barely has anything to do with the Blair Witch at all. Like it's a terrible movie. Maybe we should watch it on this show because it is on HBO Max. It's so bad. It's really terrible. It doesn't make any sense.
So this is the one that came out in 2000, like the one that came out like immediately after.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
it's 100%. It's just a cash in.
Oh, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a disappointment.
Yeah, the studio completely fucked up Blair Witch 2. And like essentially put ice on the entire series for a really long time. Yeah, it sucked. The Blair Witch movie that came out in 2016 is also not particularly good, but there is some good stuff in it. Mm-hmm. I've always thought that like, because like in that movie you see the Blair Witch, like they full on do like the, but it also does like a weird like time loop thing at the end.
Oh,
it's kind of dumb. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but like it ends up being that like, because it's about like Heather's brother or whatever, and like they go out to try to like find, because he finds like a video that's not part of the movie, because it is still treating it as like the Blair Witch, like it was a thing that came out like as an actual like found footage film. He gets like a film clip of the house, something happening in the house, and he thinks he hears Heather in it, and so he thinks Heather's still alive, and so they go into the woods, and then it turns out that like the movie that they are filming is what got sent to him. Like that, there's like a time loop. It doesn't make any sense. What I thought would have been a cool twist at the end of that movie, because they start doing like the weird time loop, like they go into the house and shit starts getting crazy, would be like, what if it's an alien? Like, wouldn't that be fucking nuts if like you do like a sequel to the Blair Witch and you show what the Blair Witch and it's a fucking alien? Like you go into that house and like there's a fucking like UFO under the house or whatever.
Oh my god.
Like that's at this point, I think that's like one of the only things that you could really do with the franchise is like take it in like a really fucking nuts direction.
So then what do you think? Because I didn't read much on what information is out there for the next installment. I know it's like Lionsgate. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything about it. Like I would be surprised if that movie ever actually comes out. Because I'm not sure anybody has. I would like for it to not be found footage. Like they've already tried doing that again. I would like it to be more like lore focused. Like maybe do a movie about Rustin Parr, the guy that they talk about at the beginning of the movie who killed those kids. That might be neat. I don't know. Maybe do that.
Yeah.
Doing some kind of pseudo documentary and stuff. But it genuinely feels like this is one of those cases where like people don't understand why this movie is like good and like why this movie was successful. Because it's gotten to the point where like a lot of people when they talk about this movie just talk about the marketing and just talk about how like, oh, you couldn't do that movie anymore because like you convinced people it was real and people want to buy that anymore. Leaving out that like the movie is good. It's a good movie that like people really had a vision about what they were doing with the movie and they executed that vision to perfection.
Yeah.
So does somebody have a good idea, like a really good idea that they can execute? I don't think so.
It's I think it's also like because it's on the shorter side. I think it's less than an hour and a half. But I think it's the perfect amount to set up everything and then just scare the shit out of you. Like I think it does that very well. And the ending, no, it's a good movie.
The ending is like fucking.
I don't even know. Like I saw Matthew in the corner. I completely closed my eyes. Like I wasn't even peeking or anything. I didn't know what else was gonna happen. And then like Heather got hit or whatever, and the camera fell.
The camera just falls to the ground and it's over.
I hate it. But I know my eyes closed. Because I was just so scared that like something was going to pop out, and it's like I didn't want to see Matthew do anything. Because, like, it would have been, obviously, he was, like, possessed or whatever, so, like, he would have had something surprise. No, I'm good. No, I'm alright, thank you. Yeah, that's, it definitely scared the shit out of me. Even just talking about it scares the shit out of me still. Like, just thinking about it, oh, no.
Yeah, it's a really, really effective movie. And I get, like I said, there's a lot of people who will talk about how this movie isn't scary and stuff. And it's like, those people are fucking...
insane.
Did
they watch the movie?
They have no empathy in their life. They do. Because, it's very effective is what it is. It does its job really, really well. And, like, it manages to, like, tell, like, a good character story and all that.
Right.
Like one of the things the movie does really good if you really want to sit back, because I've seen it probably like 3 or 4 times now. What camera they're using to shoot a scene tells you a lot about like where the characters are in their journey and stuff. Like when Heather wants to shoot something with 16 millimeter, that means she's shooting it for her movie. Versus when she's shooting stuff with VHS, that is, a more personal kind of thing. And, like, there's a really good story there with her, like, one of the big problems with a lot of, like, found footage movies is it always reaches a point where somebody, like, why the fuck are you still filming? Like, put the camera down. There's shit going on. And like what this movie does really well is that it's Heather's coping mechanism. That as long as she's still filming her movie, she's in control of the situation, and she can figure out a way out of the situation. And then you get to the point where she's crying in the woods.
And she doesn't have control.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. No. I will never go in the woods. I guess ever. Period. I'm good. Stuff in the woods can stay in the woods.
Best line in the movie is when she says, "It's very hard to get lost in America." It's like, oh, honey.
Oh, no. That's famous last words. Oh, no. Oh, no. Time to Blair Witch Project is whenever the movie starts, essentially. I don't have the exact time code on me.
I thought that you would have done when he does the camera slate that says the Blair Witch Project on it. That is time to the Blair Witch Project.
That is time to Blair Witch Project. That is fair. Yes.
But yes, from the very beginning, they are doing the Blair Witch Project.
Do you think... So, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can explain this. Because I know what I want to say in my head, but I don't know if I'll be able to word it right. Okay, so... Oh, no. So, Blair Witch Project, the movie in our world is called the Blair Witch Project, okay. And then in their world, is that movie also called the Blair Witch Project as well?
No, I think that's just like the name they're using when she's filming.
For the documentary.
Yeah, it's
but
like
not for like title. Not for the real life found footage movie in their world.
Well, so that presents an interesting question, right? Because ostensibly they're presenting it as it is our world, right?
Right.
That movie is coming out in our world called the Blair Witch Project because it's real.
Yep.
Very important that you remember that it's all real, Makenna. It's a real. This really happened.
I hate that it's real. Oh no! No. It's scary, but it's good.
Yeah, really good.
It's
really
it's
good
very
movie.
good Halloween spooky month. A good spooky month movie. And with it, do you have any final thoughts on the Blair Witch Project?
Watch it and just don't talk about how it's not scary because it makes you sound like an asshole.
I agree. Yeah, it's scary. I'm surprised I didn't have any nightmares from it. I think I maybe had a dream about being in the woods, but it was nothing like specific. I don't know. We'll see tonight. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, go watch it. What is the next movie that we're watching?
We're gonna do The Fly
for the audience, but cool.
Because audience, if you don't keep up with the Twitter or whatever, that's the only place we do announcements. We missed a week. Mac's freelancing schedule and school, she's got a lot going on, and then I took a week and went to Mexico, so it's just like finding time to record last week just wasn't gonna happen. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
we don't get paid to do this show, so
what? We're not getting paid? That's news to me.
Yeah, I throw your invoices in the trash, Makenna. I don't know why you keep sending them.
Did I ever tell you about the time that my friends convinced me that my mom paid them to be my friends in 7th grade?
No, this is interesting.
And I believed them for way too long. Well, I mean, way too long is just believing them in general. But I'm like my first friend group in middle school, they made an offhand joke. It was like, "Oh yeah, your mom pays us to be friends with you," and I believe them because I'm gullible, and I believed them probably until the beginning of high school. And then I realized, nah, I know how to make friends.
You kept hanging out with them. You were like, well. Got to get my money's worth at least.
It's fine.
You hung out with them for years thinking that they were being paid to hang out with you.
Yeah, they were hanging out with you for that long. As well. Yeah, listen. I might still be gullible, but I'm not that gullible anymore. Well, that's still up in the air. So we got The Fly next time, which I'm very excited about. Jeff Goldblum. In November. Should we talk about November, or should we wait until The Fly?
No, we might as well do it now. It is gonna be Criterion Collection Month in November. We're talking about Criterion films. We've got the list. The list has been got of the guests and the films.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what order it's going to be in. We're actually going to have to talk about this once we're done recording because I got to get scheduling stuff figured out. But we are going to have Joe Mertens on to talk about the film Moonstruck. We are going to have Joe Medforce on to talk about The Red Shoes. We are going to have ISO Christian on to talk about Dazed and Confused. And we are going to have Matt Batson on to talk about Armageddon.
Woo! With his new haircut. Woo!
Yeah, new hair Matt.
New hair Matt. Good guess, good movie. Good month. November, Thanksgiving time. So I'm hyped for November.
Hell
Woo!
Yeah.
So watch out for that. It's gonna be good. Just like every other episode that we do, especially this episode.
Yeah, this episode.
Because we did a great episode. I might be frozen again. I'm not. I'm back, baby. Good episode. And because it's a good episode, you should rate this movie or this episode please 5 stars. And
yes,
you should
5 stars on podcast platforms if you listen to it there. Which for this episode, I really hope you did listen to it on podcast platforms because the video feed is just a fucking mess.
Yeah, it is. This is it's a mess. And then like and comment and subscribe if you're not on the podcast thing. And subscribe to all of the feeds on Anchor and YouTube. And turn the bell on. Because when we upload, it's the best time of the day when we upload. And what should the people comment this week?
The people should comment, get Mac fiber.
I agree. And you should follow the podcast on Twitter at HBO Max, HBO MAKS. It's great. And where can people find you, Brandon?
They can find me at Jose Ruckus on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And from now on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock Pacific time, they can find me on twitch.tv/fancontrolled doing a show called Don't Cause the Ruckus with our friend AJ Ka.
AJ.
Really pumped about doing that show. So I hope you check that out.
Yes, AJ told me that I give harder fist bumps than football players, so he's great, and the show's great, and you got your own theme song, which is hype. Yes, do that. And you can follow me on Twitter at PowerPlans212, and there's a link in my bio for other places you can find me, like Instagram. That's really the only other place you can find me in terms of social media, and then I pop up other places from time to time. And that's been HBO Max. What an episode.
That's the Max. We got through it.
We got through it. Yay! Woohoo! Don't go in the woods.